always, going to fetch the link, the YouTube link. Going to share it in Telegram now. All right, I think you can start. Martin, do you want to go first?
Sure. So I've been working on the fork choice, on the store specifically. I'm continuing to work on that, specifically on the blocks logic. So apart from downloading the initial state, I want to download the initial block and then start to move the pending blocks to the fork choice. So yeah, we are that way we can make sure that we always have all the ancestors when adding stuff to fork choice. So I'll be working on that. But yeah, I also have the old PR still there, depending on if I get a +1 there, I'm gonna merge it. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep adding some more commits to that one. Yeah, I also been working a little bit with Paul Henry on next steps. Yeah, some questions he had. That's it for me.
Great. Yeah, I'll give a review for the pending blocks gen server today. Paul, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So today I have been mostly focusing on continuing my implementation of the operations process block header and continuing to look into how can we divide the work related to the block processing and epoch processing, considering there's like a big amount of work that needs to be made to be able to implement the state transition of the consensus client. I think it would be very good, as discussed with Martin, to find the right way to divide the implementation of the core functions between the contributors of the client. So I've been looking into this and implementing my own function. Um, Up to now, going pretty well. Uh, and had a few questions that Martin was happy and able to answer. So thank you. That's about it, I think.
Okay, thank you. As of myself, I've mostly been working in two things. Last Friday, I started working on the spec tests issue, the one that was related to performance. I gave a full review of the spec test runner code, which I wasn't fully familiar with. I'm pretty sure that I know where the problems are. I sent a couple of updates both in the issue and in the Telegram group, but to make it very short, we basically have a couple of modules, one per config, and each of those modules basically reads and parses all of the YAMLs to generate the tests, regardless of the amount of tests that we want to execute. And that happens every time that we compile, even if there was no changes in the tests. Yeah, and basically the biggest performance improvement that we can do is to have that divided at least per runner, so that we only need to reparse the YAML files when a single runner code is updated, and not every time. And also we can very easily divide that by 2, because previously we were regenerating the tests for mainnet and then for minimal configuration or presets. We don't need to do that. We can just rely on the config to know which one we need to execute. And even if we wanted to execute both, we can either run that both 2 times, or we can change the config and run it again. But it shouldn't be recompiled, because that's just a different value for the config. It's not something that should be regenerated. So yeah, I'm basically working on recoding that. It's a medium-sized refactor, but I should be able to finish that by some point today. And aside from that, I've been working a little bit with the bootcamp starting. I've been getting a couple of questions. The bootcamp is officially starting today, which is awesome. I'm very excited to work with all of the newcomers. I just need to get a couple of details in place, mostly like checking if if everyone got all of their paperwork done to put it in a way, and just checking what's the best time so that we can all have dailies with all of the members. This current time that we have is one that work with us when we only had like 2 different time zones. Now that we have like 5 different ones, we need to take a little bit more care of where we have this. But yeah, so I will be giving updates to everyone today at some point as soon as possible. So hang in there, but I'm very excited I'm very looking forward to working with y'all. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Any final comments or questions? All right. I think that we can finish for today then. Thank you all for joining and see you all tomorrow.